you end up going to Davidson, a school of 1,800 students that, hadn't had basketball success really forever. And, the rest is history. You revitalized the basketball program. You had this Cinderella Elite Eight run. I was talking to your Davidson head coach, the other day, and you fast forward a few years, so the end of your college, tenure, and he said that he was texting with you, your coach, the night before you made the decision to leave to enter the NBA a year early, and you texted him back saying you hadn't made a decision yet. Tell about that breakfast you went to the next morning with your teammate.
My teammate Steve Rossiter, that's funny. He was my roommate, and we had the same class schedule, so we always go to breakfast together. He'd order 3 eggs sunny side up, and I'd order a nice omelet. And I told him when I got my omelet and sat down, that's kind of when I first could breathe easily, knowing I think I knew what I was going to do, and I was going to leave. And I always joke that must have been a really good omelet that you had that morning for you to make the decision. Because that day I knew we had already had a press conference set up regardless of what I was going to do. And I knew I had to make a decision because the deadline was coming up. And that breakfast was kind of my first moment of clarity to know that it was time to go and enter the draft and take, see what the NBA was like.
And you didn't know until?
I really didn't know. Me and our sports information director had written 2 separate kind of speeches about whether I was going to stay or whether I was going to go. Had both of them in my pocket. Had no idea what I was going to do. So I went to my first class after breakfast, and that was when I could just relax and know I was going to go and kind of prepare for that whole day with how it was going to happen, knowing that I was deciding to leave.
Explain the stress of draft day.
It's an interesting experience because for me, I was invited to the green room, and so you're going to get drafted, but there's that level of uncertainty. You don't know where you're going to spend your next 4 years, and trying to hopefully get to a place that's the right fit for your style of play, and just trusting the process. So I actually didn't work out for Golden State during the pre-draft process. I had like 4 workouts, and I met with Larry Riley, who was a GM then.
You weren't really interested in going to Golden State then?
It was a situation where talking with my agency and obviously New York and Coach D'Antoni, when he was there, felt like the best fit. Mm-hmm. And so we had kind of had a lot of real tunnel vision for that team, and they said if I was on the board that they would take me. And I didn't really know how highly Coach Nelson and Larry Riley were on my game and me as an individual. So when I got to the 7th pick and I was on the board, David Stern come out and announced my name, and they always joke because when you watch the telecast or the draft or whatever, like he comes out and with the 7th pick, Golden State selects Stephen Curry, and I put my head on the table and pound it twice. And a lot of people are you even happy that you got drafted by Golden State? I'm like, yeah, that was just a sense of relief because there's nothing that can prepare you for that moment when you hear your name called, regardless of if I thought I was going to the next pick. Just knowing that that dream has become a reality. That was kind of how it it came out of me oh, all right, I'm in the league now, and can enjoy the process from there because I was nervous for sure.
Your first NBA game. That you're out there on court, there are dancers, there are videos of you guys in the preseason. I think you're the second to last person announced. Your mom said she cried. You said it was very intense. What do you recall from that day?
I remember we were playing Houston at home, and it was just, I knew I won the starting job, so I was starting in my first ever NBA regular season game. And just the whole day leading up was kind of a blur, to be honest, until the game started, because you have so much was so anxious to just play. And when you get to when you're rookie, you get to the game like 3 hours before the tip off, and that seems like an eternity for just so many thoughts going through my head, and I'm just fidgety, ready to go, and hearing your name in the starting lineup with, like you said, all the theatrics of the game. I think we ended up losing, but it was just a pretty special night all the way around to go and just enjoy the life of NBA game and get my season going.
For more clips from this interview, visit GrahamBensinger.com.